thought this was going to happen?
Not me.
Not me. I mean, we wanted it to, but
It was just an idea, wasn't it?
It was just an idea. It was
Bit
just
of a
an
piss
idea.
take.
I thought we were going to be recording on like our AirPods or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
like in my little granny flat.
Yeah.
But just Anyway, so welcome to the first episode of the Unfunded podcast. I'm Lachlan. I'm a triathlete. This is going to be a bit of a triathlon podcast, but you know, we're talk shit about anything really. We're not too phased.
Yeah.
We'll talk shit about anything. So anything that's going on in the world sports wise, we're obviously big sports fans. So I love AFL, and I know
nothing about AFL.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's
So
all right.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for. I mean, Sarah knows nothing about anything. So
You guys can speak for yourselves.
yeah. Sarah's
won't.
Sarah's just here to sort of butt in every now and then
Yeah.
and add a bit of human context to it.
Look,
But
I'm the producer, right?
Exactly.
You're lucky it was all about yourself already.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Hasn't introduced
Who
anyone.
else is here?
Yeah. You're right. Sorry, I'm getting off track here.
Who's this guy?
Somebody called me the anchor before, and since then I've just been
It's
kind
gone
of
to his head.
I've got a bit flustered. So you shouldn't have done that.
My bad.
But yeah. Sorry, I'm Lachlan Jones, triathlete, and this is my good friend.
Leighton Wall.
That's
I'm also a triathlete.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I am producer Sarah, and I only run if I'm.
Oh, come on! I know you've been thinking of that joke for a while now.
I literally have. And I'm producer Sarah. I only run if I'm being chased.
There we
so.
go. She got it.
Fair enough.
So again, like I said, this is going to be majority of it will be about triathlon, the world of triathlon. We want it to be a bit of an athletes podcast. We are two athletes. We want to be here representing the athletes of the sport that we both love. We want to be talking about the biggest controversies as well. We don't want to just sweep them under the rug. We don't want to let them, hide in the cupboard. We want to come out and talk about them.
That's what I want to hear.
Exactly, and that's what Sarah's here. She just wants to hear the gossip, really. She's
That's
just
it.
here for the tea.
That's exactly it.
That's essentially what we want. We want to sort of break the mold of just being a boring triathlon podcast, essentially, because I don't listen to a single triathlon podcast.
I listen to a few.
Okay.
Only if something's going
Yeah,
on.
you're a bit more nerdy than I am. I
Yeah,
guess,
a little
so
bit, but
you like the specs. So yeah, we want to kind of bring a bit of youth to it, bring a bit of tea, sort of what's peek behind
what's
the
going
curtains
on?
a little bit.
Yeah, in the inner circle of the triathlon world,
Yep.
what people don't actually really hear.
Yep.
I mean, you have your Ironmans and whatever, and everyone's doing triathlon these days, but not many people actually know what's going on in the world of it.
Mm-hmm.
That is our sport.
Mm-hmm. Especially Sarah over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the order, Sarah?
Yeah. What's the order of a triathlon?
The order.
Actually,
Yeah.
hang on.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah,
no.
I do.
What are the three disciplines first, and then we'll worry about order.
Running,
Yep.
swimming,
Yep.
cycling.
Yeah.
There we are. What
Yeah.
order?
Running.
No.
Damn it. As if. Okay, no, it's swimming,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
cycling,
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
running.
She's
There
done
we
it.
are.
Oh,
What's the
okay.
fourth leg?
I don't think we should talk about it. Your fourth
That's the
leg.
third leg. That's a third leg joke.
I have absolutely no idea what a
The
fourth
after
leg
party.
is.
Which we obviously don't attend.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a bit of a recap. Not a recap. That's a bit of a preview on what this podcast
gonna
is
be
going to be
about,
about.
Bit of fun.
Yeah, a bit of fun.
Chew
Little
the
bit of shit talk, and we will aim to sort of preview and recap, I guess, each race. We've obviously got the World Series, we've got World Cups, we've got big events all around the world. There's racing happening nearly every weekend in the summer, so we will be doing our best to be shouting out athletes for upcoming races or wins or big performances, whatever it may be. Could be
Movers and shakers.
Yeah.
What's going on?
could be anything. You could have thrown
Cool
a
Instagram post. Who knows?
cool Instagram
Yeah.
post, whatever
We
you're
don't
doing. Yeah. So that's essentially our goal in this podcast.
Bring a bit more light to, I guess, the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Alrighty.
I'll
Have a
try
bit
and
of
keep
fun.
us in line a little bit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so we can go down a certain path. And what we're going to talk about today
Mm-hmm.
is 2024 recap.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
I don't know anything about 2024, so
You know the Olympics was this year or last year?
last year.
Did you know that? It's 2025.
I know. I
You knew that?
heard that. Yeah.
You didn't watch.
I-
How many events did you watch?
I
Oh God, you suck.
I only watched the
100 meter sprint.
no, not even.
Oh.
I watched the trampolining, the diving, or the gymnastics
I didn't watch any.
because
of those.
that's a real skill.
Oh, here we go.
Flipping.
Flipping.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't watch any of them, but
What did you watch?
the triathlon, obviously.
Is that it?
No, I watched. I obviously I think
Swimming, the running, and the cycling.
the swimming, the running, and the
Right.
cycling. Yeah, quite literally.
4 events.
Yeah,
All the
yeah,
divisions.
yeah. The rugby. Rugby's always kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
Like seeing people smack themselves. Anyway, yeah. So 2024, big year. Obviously, like we just said, it's an Olympic year. Whenever there's an Olympics, it's always a huge year. You got people vying for spots on country teams. You got sort of, I guess, big decisions being made. Who's focusing on the World Series? Who's focusing on the Olympics? I guess the process on how to actually get there. So it's a cool year. It's a cool year, and I think for us to actually be a part of it, and we were over in Europe for a little bit. We obviously watched it unfold. I think we're now getting to a position where we're friends with the athletes as well. So sort of seeing how they go about qualifying and the race itself.
Subtle brag.
Yeah, no, we're really friends with the top dogs. So, but yeah, so I guess the big one that I think and there's a lot more than just the short course stuff that we're talking about at the moment.
Yeah.
There's obviously the world of Ironman and T100's just been introduced, and Super League in the short course. So there's just
A lot of stuff going on.
a lot of stuff going on, especially this year. The first controversy we want to dive into, because it's the juiciest one, and it's the one that we
Wait,
kind of.
Before we get into that, can
Sorry,
I ask
I've
a
jumped the
stupid
gun.
question? No,
Yeah.
you haven't jumped. You're doing very well,
Okay.
actually. You're smashing it as anchor. Well done.
He just loves to talk, doesn't he?
You got in my
He
head.
certainly does. Just, for the idiots out there,
Yep.
long form and short form, explain them both. And
So-
how long and short are we talking?
Okay,
She'll
so
better this.
yep, you probably won't think it's very long if you're only running if people chase you, but or short. So short course, we race anything from like a super sprint, they're called, and that's 300, 8K and 1.8K run. And then we race sprint races. So this is all short course, and this is like I guess you would call it the Olympic pathways.
Right,
That
okay.
would be, so you come up as like a junior racing this kind of stuff. So then you have sprint distance, which is 750 metres swim, 20K bike, 5K run.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Olympic, which is 1500 swim, 40K bike, 10K run. So that's all short course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Super short. Yep.
Yep.
Hey.
You guys are fast.
It's long for me.
You know that, right?
It's a long way.
When
Something
you're
wrong with
groveling over
And-
10K
And like
after an
the
Olympic.
hours of training we do just to do a sprint
yeah,
is
an
disgusting.
hour race.
Like 30 hours a week of training to do an hour race.
Yeah.
I believe it. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
many times a year can you do that as well? Not many.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean, I could do it all the time. but- Sorry,
How
continue.
many times do you actually race?
Sorry.
though? Not many.
Long course.
And then long course, so you have the 70.3s, so 70.3 mile of the Ironman branded stuff, and that's 1.9K swim, 90K ride, and a half marathon, and then you have an Ironman, which is double that. So nearly a
Jesus.
4K swim, 180K bike, and a marathon.
That is actually
Oh.
pretty impressive. That to just
that's-
finish.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day when we were discussing topics, and we got on the topic of the Iron Man tattoo.
Mm.
And obviously, that's a bit of a like you see someone with an Iron Man
It's a bit of a
tattoo,
wank,
you
isn't it?
kind of laugh at them.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it on the drive here. It's actually
It's a big
very
achievement,
impressive.
yeah.
I-
Mad respect.
I've
Yeah.
almost changed my mind on it. I still don't know like if I'd ever get a tattoo of it, but to finish
You
the
would.
respect of it.
the
is, yeah.
respect is actually very, very impressive.
And most of them are working
for your
full-time
average Joe,
jobs, like,
your average Joe
they
to
train
finish
in the
that.
morning, train at night.
And how long
to be able to
would
do that.
an
Yeah.
Ironman like comp usually take like in
Well,
hours?
the pros do it in like 8 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
wow.
under,
Yeah,
like 7
8
Oh
hours
my
is a
God.
long time, and that's a pro doing it there. Like, what would like an average person do it in? You'd know more.
Like,
You know
I mean,
more.
I don't
mean,
really.
like
I don't follow.
Average person.
I don't follow. No. I didn't mean like he's an average person. I meant it more
Whoa.
like. Yeah, no, that's not what I meant. I meant it more like he follows that distance more than I do.
Right, understood.
they're around
Yeah.
10 to 12 hours, I would say. Like, if you're still training a fair bit,
Wow.
you know, if you're a good kind of like,
Yeah.
just, yeah.
I died at the
Guy.
beginning, couple
Yeah.
of meters.
I'd love to
just-
see you
But can
just
you
do the
imagine?
swim.
Yeah,
Can you
man.
imagine
You
going for
wouldn't.
10 hours? Like
Yeah.
10 hours.
Yeah, I mean they obviously go slow and they go at their pace, but like still just to mentally
Stay focused for
just
10
finish
hours
it is-
or
it
8
is-
hours.
yeah.
Just 7.5 hours, the quickest one.
I'm coming.
7.5 hours.
yeah.
Oh.
And how much of it is like a
Stop it.
mental thing rather than
So
a physical
much.
thing?
I think more mental than
Yeah.
physical. You can be physically ready on the day. It doesn't really matter if you're not really prepared for it mentally.
Until you get
Yeah.
5 hours in, and then you're like,
When you're
I've
getting
got another 5 to go.
You're getting off an 180k bike ride and
Your
thinking,
back's
I've now got to
cooked,
run a
yeah.
marathon.
Oh.
Like,
Stop it.
Not for me.
No
okay, I
way.
actually feel a bit sick.
yeah, it's not for me.
Eating all that sugar. Can you imagine?
Yeah,
Oh my
that's why the teeth are all falling out.
Yeah.
It's just rough. It's rough. Anyway,
All right. Yeah, that's enough for me.
Yeah,
Let's get into
yeah.
the controversies.
cool. Let's get into
good
let's get into the
stuff, yeah.
juicy stuff. All right, so the big one for the year, which it's the biggest one for us. There was quite a few, again being such a big year, but the drug scandals.
They're always juicy.
They're always juicy because they're juicing. That was bad.
No, I liked it. This is good.
But yeah, so the big one for this year was the Mexican athlete Thomas Rodriguez. He was he's the second in
2 years.
2
to get
years
done
now.
for drugs.
Yeah.
Well, second big one who's won big races.
Yeah, to almost come off a big win and then to get done not that long after, like a couple months.
Yeah, well, he got popped for his doping at that race.
I was that
Yeah, it
sample
was
that he
that
got done.
race, yeah.
Oh, you've done a really bad job of trying to hide it if you're getting
Yeah.
done at the race
Yeah.
you've like doped for.
One.
Again, you don't know how long he's been doing it
Doing it
but
for, yeah.
Do you think people had like an idea that he was doping?
You did.
Well,
because of that
I
race?
thought,
Yeah.
I thought about it. So I saw the race and it was very impressive. So he's doing an Ironman, so the very, very
the
long
big one. Yeah.
And he ran a marathon off it, and it was super quick. It was, I can't remember what it was. It was really, really rapid. Anyway, I saw that and I was like, wow, that's very impressive. Someone that you don't hear of. And he actually beat the current Ironman world champion at it.
Oh.
So it was a big
it
upset.
was a big breakthrough performance.
But I then looked at, because obviously through the pathways most guys start off as a junior racing the World Triathlon short course stuff. And you obviously have the website and you can find everyone's history of races. So they will pop up all these race results, hundreds. So I looked at it and I was like, oh, I'll just see what he did as a junior. Anyway, he pretty much ran throughout his like short course career the same pace as what he did in his marathon.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And that's unusual.
Yeah,
Or to be running your 5k split for a
for
marathon is just
8 of them.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
just
8 5K splits in a row.
Jeez.
Yeah.
After all of that beforehand, I was like, that's a bit dodgy. Anyway, I texted one of our mates and I was like, oh, what do you reckon? I was like, I reckon he's on the gear. And yeah, a few months
Nailed
later,
it.
yeah, gone.
If only there was a
Wow.
betting market for that.
I know.
You could have bet on
could
it.
have bet on it.
Mate, you'd be
Could've
rich
made
right now. You
money.
could have retired. Yeah. So that but I think, and so obviously staying on that, I think the funny it almost turned into a bit of a joke. I
Yeah.
think there was like Ironman meme pages posting about his excuse for why he got done.
Which
Ooh.
was, do you know what it was?
No.
It was him saying that the chicken and the eggs that he had been eating were using this. It was actually like an estrogen kind of supplement thing,
Yeah.
and it like masked testosterone. So it pretty much like null and voided on tests testosterone.
Why is that a good thing?
So it's to cover up essentially the other stuff you're taking.
Yeah.
So say you're taking
It was a
testosterone,
cover-up
you're
drug,
taking
yeah.
EPO. He's then taking a cover-up drug on top of that.
Yeah,
So like it's
Mm.
So it
masking it,
wouldn't
but then
boost. Yeah,
but then you get done for the drug that's masking it.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
he essentially he blamed the chicken and eggs
Right.
that he'd been eating.
Yeah.
So like in his training camp in the lead up, he said no, like it's not me. My A sample like it might have come back as dodgy. Test my B sample. It's because of this. It's because of the eggs and the chicken, which like just
Right.
became a laughing stock. Like it
Yeah.
was like, oh come on.
We
That's
all
Like,
eat eggs
ridiculous.
and chicken.
we
don't
all
we?
eat eggs and chicken. I don't know where you're getting yours from,
Yeah.
but like I'm not getting mine from the same
Some
as
kind
you.
of
Yeah, I'm not running
weird
that off the bike.
Mexican, Yeah.
Yeah, so that became a bit of a laughing stock, really. And I think originally he got a 2-year ban that I know of. He got a 2-year ban.
That's what he's serving.
Yeah. So I thought he's serving more now.
No, I'm pretty sure it's still 2 years.
I thought it went to 4. We might actually have to check that. But
Might have to check it.
but
I'll check it out.
yeah, maybe check that out.
Yeah.
I thought it went to 4 because I remember it was Pro Tri News that had a video up of him serving his 2-year ban, but still training and just
training
producing
the house down,
ridiculous numbers, like almost like a 90 VO2 max, like
which is crazy.
Like not
That's
a lot of
like
people.
the fittest of fit
Yeah.
that you can be, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because like you can like what's to stop an athlete like that? Say I don't know if you've got it up. what he's
Yeah,
serving.
no, 2 years.
It is 2 years.
Yeah.
So say like, okay, what, he's 25.
Yep.
He's 25. He can easily come back at 27 years,
and still be really, really
still
good.
be very good, because he could use this 2-year ban to just
be
pump as
doped.
much stuff into him as possible. Come back 2 years. All right, now we start the testing pool. That 2 years I just served, essentially I've just done 4 years of training because of all the juices that are in me.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to be 4 years ahead of you all.
Yeah.
Like that's
It wouldn't surprise me.
it wouldn't
And
surprise me
I'll
either.
be very interested
But then
when
he
he
could-
comes back.
He could still show up and like not read with any drugs in his system. at
No,
that point.
because
Yeah.
because eventually it'll flush out of your system. So
But he's got
Yeah.
the benefit.
he's had the
of-
benefit of the big training block.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just to explain the hormones or whatever that people are doping with
Yep.
in triathlons. What is it? What is it called? And what is it?
This guy was it was essentially a testosterone masker.
No.
Yeah.
I mean like
But the other ones?
the other one, yeah.
Oh, like EPO. That's
Yeah,
been-
EPO.
EPO is a
Lance
big one.
Armstrong was
That's what
Something
Lance
for that,
Lance
yeah.
Armstrong had.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
and everything else under the sun.
And
It's essentially like it helps your body to produce more red blood cells.
Yeah, red blood cells to carry oxygen around the body.
So you're recovering at a much faster rate than myself, who's not taking that.
And myself.
yeah.
Just
So
to put,
recovery
just to
is
put it out
hard.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously recovery is such an important
Yeah.
part. Like it's
Aspect
just
of it, yeah.
it's a huge aspect of it. So when we're having to take essentially recovery days or recovery sessions, his time is halving. So he's able to
Yeah.
go pump out hard sessions, and that accumulates over obviously
years
and
months,
years, months,
days,
whatever
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And he's getting to the start line essentially
2 years fitter or
Two-
however
yeah.
long he's
however long, twice as fit as us.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it's more so the accumulation of
Yeah.
Days,
hard
weeks,
training,
yeah.
fitness that he's been able to take that we haven't.
Yeah.
so-
Totally.
But
Yeah.
if he didn't put in the work, like you can't just be a Joe Blow and
You
go,
still have
"Oh,
to
I'm
put in the
gonna-
work. Yeah,
Gonna
Right.
take this XYZ
yeah.
and hope that you're
Yeah. You obviously
You're
still need
running-
to
yeah,
train,
yeah,
yeah.
right? You still
That
need to
quick,
train.
Not to
but
say it's right. Not to say
No.
that like again, like not to be like, oh, he's still put in the work though. Like good on
Oh
him.
yeah.
It's not like that. It's very much like, yeah, you put in the work. But
Sympathise with those 30
I,
hours a
know,
week.
I feel bad for him.
He's
eh?
done it hard.
Yeah.
He put in double the work.
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah, he did
And
actually.
he's had
He
to prick
did.
himself with
Yeah.
needles every.
To be fair, I couldn't do the needles.
No,
That's the
yeah.
worst part of it. Get that thing away from me. I hate those. Yeah, and there was another one. So leaving sort of obviously it's going to be an interesting, I guess, 2 years now that we know it's a 2-year ban. What is he actually going to do in that time? Is he just going to leave the sport? Obviously, in our opinion, I think his image is tainted. He's not going to be
Yeah.
able to come back. Nobody's ever going to accept him back.
Sponsors.
It's
nothing
almost like
that.
the,
It'll
it's-
always be a red flag.
Who was that Chinese swimmer?
Sun Yang.
Sun Yang. He came back. When he came back after his ban,
Didn't he get like booed and?
He got
stuff like that?
booed,
What?
and then there was so he came back after a ban. Stood up, he won world championships. He won a world
Yeah, yeah.
championships,
Oh,
and then
and
the
they
Aussie,
wouldn't-
the
Matt
Aussie,
Horton wouldn't
yeah.
stand on the podium with him.
yeah. So I don't know if you saw this, but there was a Chinese swimmer who this is a few years ago. He served his ban 2 to 4 years, whatever it was. He came back after the ban, raced at a world championships, and he won. So he came back from the ban, won the race, and then the 2 people on the podium refused to stand on the podium with him. So they
Really?
basically said like, no, what you did was wrong. We still believe that you're doing it. So they refused to stand, and that was a big controversy. Like he was, I remember there was a video where he was screaming at Mac Horton,
Yeah,
like
he
screaming.
wasn't happy.
He wasn't happy.
Because he thought that was obviously disrespectful.
He
to
thought it
him.
was disrespectful.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's granted. You've tainted your image in the sport. You've tainted the sport, and then again, he got a positive test. Like
Yeah,
a year
after
after.
that, yeah.
So then he made this big fuss, came back, said like, oh, you're being disrespectful. And then he got another positive test.
And then
so
he was taking drugs.
he was taking drugs again. So
In fact,
it was
Sad.
it was very warranted.
thi-
So
I think it was the Chinese swim team, and they were blaming the Australian meat for
Oh, another
Yeah.
chicken and egg
Yeah, yeah,
situation.
yeah.
What
They-
came
they-
first?
they love passing the blame. But yeah, so I think with Thomas here, I don't think he's going to be able to come back in 2 years' time and not have a tainted image. Athletes aren't going to be able to respect him in the way where, they're going to accept him being on the podium after what
Yeah,
he's done.
exactly
Once
right.
you've done it, once you've been clear banned,
I think that's the end.
It's a Colin Chartier situation where he's accepted it. He's got on plenty of
And
podcasts.
Going
and
to real estate.
he's gone into real estate. The slimy bastard.
Everybody goes into real estate.
You've done something wrong. You go into real estate. Just wait until we get cancelled for this. We'll be real
Yeah.
estate agents.
So say my
Anyone
partner
need a
does
house
real
sold?
estate.
Oh, sorry. No, I was kidding. And this second drug scandal, it actually could have been 2023. We haven't really fact checked this one, and we couldn't really find a source. But there was the 2 Russian girls. I think that actually could have been 2023, where obviously Russia, we all know about their rough history in doping and drugs in sport. So they race for the Independent Athletes Association. Yeah, something like that. Independent Athletes Association.
They can't race under
Then
Russia.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
Okay.
So
due to what happened before in Russia,
Right.
yeah,
That was the Olympics, right?
that was
Yeah,
the
they
Winter
were
Olympics.
covering it
Yeah.
all up.
Yeah, that was a Winter
Yeah.
Olympics in Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that whole Icarus documentary, great documentary on that. We've even had the Polyansky, one of the Polyansky brothers, who they were also racing short course. So it was two Russian brothers. One of them got busted, and then the other one never got busted, but conveniently never came back to the sport. So, I mean, you're twin brothers. Let's be real. You're both doping. Like,
What a coincidence.
yeah. So they both left the sport, and then we had these 2 Russian girls that sort of came back. They were just racing the French league.
Series.
Yeah, so they were just doing the French series, and I remember
Making
hearing
a lot of money.
making a lot of money, and I think the French team obviously didn't really care. They were just paying them to win.
Yeah.
So like they jumped on a race, and I can't remember where it was, maybe Metz. So it was a race in France, and they were racing Jean Leher. I probably got that so wrong, but she's a Jean Leher. She
Luxembourgian.
Luxembourg athlete, and she's a freak runner. And they got off the bike at the same time, and these 2 Russian girls just ran away from her, which in itself is just suspicious. This girl's one of the best runners in the sport, like in the world. And WADA, the World Anti-Doping Association, were essentially there at Metz just for these 2 Russian girls.
Because usually there isn't any
Nah.
doping control at these races in
Yeah.
France.
Yeah, there's usually nothing, but they were clearly there. I think they were almost asking around, where are these 2 girls? Like,
Yeah.
we want them. Like,
this
we
is
need
like-
to test them.
This is like the drug enforcement.
Yeah. So
yeah.
they do all the drug testing and like for the world organization.
Got it.
Yeah. So they were, and we haven't actually seen them since racing.
They disappeared.
They've disappeared. They've
I mean,
gone.
they're not my friends, so I'm
Yeah, I
not
don't-
checking up
I
on them.
actually
But
don't know them, so
off the
yeah,
face of
yeah.
the earth, they're gone.
Oh my
So,
God, Russia's
yeah,
done
Russia's
something.
serious. Russia's
No, we
serious
don't-
with this sort of thing.
We don't know what's happened.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
yeah, allegedly.
Russia,
They
don't
are
come
dead.
for me.
Allegedly, they're dead.
But yeah, I think on the whole drug scandal, I think we're kidding ourselves if we don't think that there's more out there.
No,
I don't know if you agree.
I definitely think that 2025 will bring some kind of drug-related scandal. I think that's just sport.
Is
There's-
it? Yeah. Is it just
um,
one every year kind of thing?
Yeah.
At least.
I think we almost can't keep up with. I think the testing protocols can't keep up with the modern advancements of doping.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely just don't think that the protocols have, you know, they're I guess they're too lightly enforced. Like,
Well, I mean, realistically, not every race is going to have a drug testing agency there,
no.
and then not everyone is being tested. So that they pick and choose who they want whenever. Like, you could come 40th and get chosen to do drug testing. And you might be 40th and be on something and then get popped. Great, that person's gone. But then you might miss the person from 5th to 7th who is on it, give them another 2 years, they're coming first.
And
You know,
this-
it's all
and it's all national, like all that sort of stuff. It's all I mean, unless you're racing the World Series, and this is why people are suspicious on, like, I mean, I don't want to get my head taken off for this, but when you race in China, you go and race in China, you'll never see a Chinese athlete get tested, like, because it is the Chinese association that are providing it's their national anti-doping agency.
yeah.
You'll never see a Chinese athlete getting tested after a race in China. So
okay.
again, not pointing any fingers,
No.
but
Pretty sus.
let's just put that there.
Yeah.
Let's just put that on the table. So yeah, I think that finishes the first controversies. It's a big one, and yeah, I think we're definitely going to see a few more, especially in the.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's nearly guaranteed. Like those-
Europeans don't care. They'll
do anything.
They'll do anything to win. It's so much bigger. The sport is so much bigger in Europe. I remember when we were in Croatia, and I've said this story before. We were in Croatia, myself and Troy Whittington. I think he's still in Croatia, actually.
Left him there.
We went there for a training
He
camp.
went to Split.
Yeah,
and
we went there for a
never
training
came
camp,
back.
and I haven't seen Troy since. So
Split's a good place.
yeah. Well, I'll ask Troy. He's definitely still there. But yeah, we were there for a training camp, and we were there with the Croatian. It was a Croatian coach, and there was a couple athletes there, and a general manager, and we were having a couple drinks on our last night before we went off to wherever we were going next, and we were talking about drugs in sport and doping, and they asked us a question like if we would dope, if we would ever consider taking drugs. And Troy and I both said, like, oh, no way. We would never, like, I would just rather admit that I'm not good enough at this sport, move on and do something else. Like, I guess that's just how, that's how I am. That's how you are. Yeah, it's how you brought up in the sport. And I remember the Croatian kid just, like, looked us dead in the eye and he was like, nah, I would do it. He was, like, so calm about it. He was like, yeah, I mean, if I knew where the drugs were and if I knew how to administer it, I'd do it. And they were all laughing at us like we were the problem.
Yeah.
Like we were the idiots for saying like, you
no.
wouldn't take drugs? Are you kidding? Like, come on. Like they just don't care. They very well see it as if everyone's doing it, then I might as well do it as well.
I get
sort
that,
of thing.
yeah. That makes a lot of sense to me.
If everyone's cheating, I might as well cheat too.
Well, exactly. How else do you get ahead?
Just be better.
Just be
Train,
better.
train.
How do you be better than someone who's on drugs? You know,
It's just up here.
Tactics, I
you
mean,
can't.
yeah.
It's up there. Okay.
That
Got
little
locked
Lockie
in.
Jones is running up there. No, I don't know. That's the question. Hopefully you just eradicate the problem from the sport.
Yeah, or you could give everybody drugs.
No,
Well, then
they're trying to do that.
Have you seen the whole what is it? Enhanced games.
I don't like
James
that.
Magnuson?
I don't
I
like
reckon
that.
it's really cool to be honest.
It's
What-
cool,
what
but
is it?
I think it's also encouraging people to just do it more.
What
Him-
is it?
Yeah,
What is it?
So enhanced games, they want to make like an Olympic kind of scene,
Oh.
and it's
Oh,
they've
yeah, I
it's
get-
like a
yeah.
private entity that's like funded this kind of like pump money into it, and they're pretty much allowing them to take anything under the sun to try and like break world records and stuff like that. It doesn't
So you
go
can take
to
it. Yeah,
anything.
you can dope to your eyeballs.
Yeah.
They're
This
not
actually-
testing.
This
It's
actually
cool.
sounds awesome.
It's
like
cool.
how far can you go?
Yeah.
That's not healthy.
No,
You're
you
also
don't-
you're also
Exactly right.
encouraging like some serious health issues.
Yeah, you
there.
really
Like,
are.
Yeah, people are pumping in testosterone. Like
Yeah.
you can have they'll finish the 100-meter sprint. Yeah, sick. They just ran 7 seconds,
And
but they
then
just
drop
died.
dead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
dead.
Yeah, like they just died there. That
Oh,
was cool.
man.
We did that for
Yeah.
I don't know. And I think it's just
What was
encouraging.
that for?
Yeah, I think you're encouraging it to people to take that into
Yeah.
the sport of
I think the way they're trying to go about it is like all FDA approved stuff, so it's all
Mm.
very much scientific and
oh, it's all good. It's healthy.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
as healthy as it can be. Yeah.
we've got big pharma anyway. I mean, Panadol and have too
Yeah.
much of that. It's probably bad.
Well, I mean, yeah, that
Yeah,
stuff's
true.
Do you
illegal.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
That stuff is illegal in the sport. You can't take that within 24 hours of a
Yeah.
race.
So like
Panadol?
Yeah,
Sudafed
yeah.
If you have a runny nose.
Yeah, you can't take that like 24 hours. There's a whole website where you can plug in a drug
Yeah.
and it'll tell you when you can take that outside of a
Yeah,
race.
it's not
So
only like these really highly illegal things that you're
Yeah.
actually like injecting.
it's
into
Panadol and
yourself.
Nurofen as well.
Really?
You
What-
can't have Sudafed if you have a blocked nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
go to sleep the night before. Let's say you get like drowsy
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't have that.
Interesting. What
Mm.
What is this website? You don't know what it is?
Asada.
Asada?
Wait, isn't it wider now?
Oh, I don't know.
Is
think
it specifically for all sports?
Well,
or
you
like
can
It's
Right.
all
Diff-
sports. It's all
Yeah,
sports.
but different sports have different things. So you could be a 100-meter sprinter, and let's say the drowsy, cough and cold pill, you could be able to take it, but we're not allowed to.
Mm.
Yeah, it's
Weird.
weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like smoking weed. That's illegal.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
actually,
I mean,
it's actually just illegal outside.
Just
But it's
illegal.
also, but in countries
No, but then
where
you could
other
have
countries where it's not.
medicinal,
Yeah.
cannabis,
Yeah.
couldn't
No,
you?
I don't think you can. I think that's a drug within competition is banned.
How?
Oh, we're talking like
I'm talking all
In
He's
sport.
talking
In sport,
in
yeah,
sport
yeah.
now. He's
Okay,
changed.
yeah.
Oh, I know
I
it's
thought you were
it's
talking about,
illegal.
like-
Yeah, I know it's illegal.
He's
but like
pivoted.
yeah. I'm
Okay.
just smoking joints out the back. Like,
He just had one.
yeah, I just had that's why I'm Anyway, no, well the Dolphins, this Australian swimming team got in a bit of mischief because they were smoking joints before races. Well, I think a couple of them got caught.
Okay.
I think that was public information.
I've
Well.
never heard that.
Have you not?
No.
I'm standing by it. I could be wrong, but I'm standing
I
by it.
reckon you're wrong. There was the whole still knock stuff.
Can you Google that?
Yeah, okay,
I think that's wrong.
Oh, shit.
Dolphins.
I'm about to have a target on my head. If
Swimming.
that's
Yeah,
wrong.
I think you're wrong.
No.
You've upset all of the dolphins out there.
Okay.
Flipper.
A lot of them are on the Gold Coast.
Yeah. There's nothing here about that.
No, I'm pretty
Unless
sure they.
you've just seen it at the
No,
pav, mate.
there's
I'll
no.
just-
Dolphins coach reacts to shock alleged Chinese doping situation, but nothing
okay.
about
Shit.
the Dolphins. I don't know. Maybe you've got some.
Yeah, I got some juicy
I
gossip. I'm
think
not
you
going to
got
say
some
it now.
bad
Oh.
sources, mate.
I swear,
Oh,
I
you-
swear. No, I swear. Snapchat News told me it was.
Snapchat news. Okay. Okay. Do your research.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's cut that one out.
No, we'll keep it in.
All right. So we'll move on to the next thing. This kind of aligns with the Olympics and it being an Olympic year. You've always got controversies with this sort of time, and that's with team selections.
Yep.
There's always a bit of drama. People
Who's
think
been picked?
who's been
I
picked.
guess,
People
yeah.
always think that they should be picked over the next person. It's where your friendships get a little feisty.
Yep.
They're not as friendly with each other anymore. They're not as teammates, I guess.
Bum chums.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I think the first one, this is actually probably a bit of a nicer one, was Vince Louis in the French team.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big one. He's
Signed off.
yeah, and he's
See you
retired
later.
now. He's retired now. He's retired short course now. But I think he was sort of one that the Tokyo Olympics, if that was a year earlier, you almost would have said he would have won the Tokyo Olympics. It was all within 1 year. He got an injury.
Yeah.
He wasn't racing the same, and he went from probably being the best triathlete in the world to
He's still top 10.
He's
I
still
think
top-
he's-
I
I don't
remember
know
Tokyo.
what
He
he
didn't get top 10. I think
Oh,
he was
no,
about
no.
30th in.
But over the last year that he raced,
Still
he
very
was
good.
Still a top 10 athlete.
It's just crazy that you can have 4 athletes from one country all be top 10 performances on their day. Well, you had them come 3rd and 4th in the
in
Olympics.
the Olympics. Yeah.
But I think Vince was that big one where I think if Dorian Koenigs didn't have his crash, so Dorian Koenigs was the 2023 world champion, so he was a big dog, and he qualified within that race. I believe he had to do one more race in 2024 to cement his qualification. So he was one of the big French guys that could have gone on the day and probably got a
Because
podium.
the French actually said in there, each nation has a different selection criteria to go to the Olympics.
Oh.
Whatever that might be. So it might be different for your country compared to Australia, France, wherever you're from. But in the French one, it said you can qualify through this race, which he did, but then it was kind of, we can choose who we want in the end.
Yeah, because their athletes
Essentially,
were so
yeah.
good. Because they did have 4 athletes that were just so good that it was kind of like, all right, we're going to last minute pick who we think's going to be
Who's in form.
in
Yeah.
form.
Which
and
is fair enough.
Which is fair enough. And Dorian Koenigs unfortunately had a pretty bad crash in Yokohama at the start.
Yeah.
So he fractured his wrist.
yeah.
Fractured his wrist. So obviously
Off the bike.
off the
Yeah.
bike, yeah. And this is in a race as well. So he fractured his wrist. What do you want to say? 4 months before the
Yeah,
Olympics?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 4 months before the big day. So, like, Vince Louis was doing everything he could to try and prove that, he's in form. And
Racing everywhere.
he
like,
did. He
doing well.
he
yeah.
did. He got all top 10 performances, I'm pretty sure, in most of the World Series stuff. So he was in form. So he put up, I'll get it up. He put up a bit of a, you know how they all do when they're upset with something, they put, a big
Black background, white text,
Yeah.
or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, he did a bit he did a bit differently this
Oh,
time.
did
He
he?
did a white background black text.
Oh.
Because
Wow.
he wasn't apologising for
He
anything.
wasn't. So he basically said, so summarising this, he basically said that yesterday I got a call saying that I'm not going to be racing in Paris Olympics. He asked the justification, how they came to their conclusion, but they were unclear from the governing body. He basically said that there's a few athletes. He sort of mentioned Dorian Koenigs without mentioning Dorian Koenigs with the injury and if he was actually going to be able to compete well at the Olympics. He didn't believe so. He was right in the end. Dorian Koenigs didn't actually race that well.
What did he come?
He was in the 30s, I'm pretty
Oh.
sure. Yeah, so he had a pretty shocking day. So in the end, it probably would have been best to send Vince.
Maybe. I guess you never know.
You
on the
never
day,
know.
do you?
You never know, but
You
I
could
think
get sick the day before. It's
Yeah.
just unfortunate.
yeah, but he did go on to say, I still wish the best to the athletes who will represent France. I'll always have your back and you know it. So he ended it nice. It was very much like I'm disappointed in my
Very
country.
patriotic.
Yeah. But I'll sort of leave it. And yeah, I think that was it was almost a bit of a sad end to his short course career because of how good he was
for so many years. Like,
Yeah.
he went to 3 Olympics,
Yeah,
been racing forever. I guess he's kind of one of those. Like,
he's pretty old.
yeah.
35. Move on.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's not old actually.
No.
Is it? It's not old for triathlon.
It's not old for triathlon.
not
No,
really.
No.
You had Jan Frodeno. What did he just
was
retire
like
at?
40.
I think he was
No.
mid 40s. I think he was like
42 or something.
maybe not mid 40s, but yeah, no, he was in his 40s. So you can definitely go for a while. He's
Go,
still
yeah.
got another 10 years if he wants to do it.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, so that was the French one. That was the nice one. I think the one that was a little bit nasty was this next one, and that was the British women.
Yeah.
There was
Bit of an upset.
well, that got taken to court.
Yeah. Well,
That
that really
Yeah,
escalated.
that
didn't
really
it?
escalated.
Yeah.
They had to take. What are your thoughts on it? Who do you think they should have taken? So they took-
Oh,
So the team was Georgia Taylor Brown, Beth Potter, Kate Woff, and Sophie Caldwell was the one that missed out. Who do you think they should have taken, Sophie or Kate? It was between Sophie and Kate. That
Okay.
was the big one.
Yeah.
Who do you think they should have taken?
Oh, it's hard. I mean,
Don't be a pussy. I reckon Sophie.
she did race pretty well leading into it,
For me, it was that what was the race where I thought it was essentially a decider,
and she beat her.
and Sophie beat her.
yeah. But then do they go off like playing, I don't know, for like future generations?
Yeah,
or
you're
take
right.
the younger. But that's
'Cause
all the
Kate
things
will-
that they think about.
Kate will be very
they
good
think
in the
about
future.
different things that's going to happen.
LA could be
Like,
Kate's.
Give them,
Olympics.
a year experience at the Olympics. I mean, biggest stage in sport, and then they might not be as nervous for the next one, which
Mm.
could be then like a gold medal there, or I don't
Yeah.
know.
So what was the
tricky.
controversy? Like, why did they take?
So-
who
so,
did they take to court?
Essentially, I thought Sophie should have been. I think quite a few people thought Sophie should have been picked, and they picked Kate. And so you have a period. So when that gets announced, you then have a period to
Dispute it.
Dispute it.
Yeah.
I think it's called something else, but you have a period to dispute it, and she disputed it obviously very heavily. So she took the British Federation to court and their decision to court. So then you obviously you pay for a lawyer, whatever,
Yeah.
specialist,
All that
Yeah.
stuff.
all
yeah.
that, and you take the I'm now forgetting what it's called. The criteria. You
Yeah.
take the criteria and you
have
say,
to-
plead your case. I met the criteria here. This person didn't here. Whatever it is,
Yeah.
sort of
So
throw up the options.
she's saying she met the criteria.
She met the
better
criteria better than the other
better
athlete.
than Kate.
And again, she put up a lengthy
post.
Yeah,
a
like
lengthy post. We're not going to go, but it was a good. If the cameras can see,
it's a long
good-
post.
It's a good 2-pager.
So is the criteria like quite complicated? Because I'm just looking at the Australian criteria. It's pretty.
Oh, don't look
basic.
at that.
It's
Don't look
super
at that.
basic. You
Ours
just
is-
have to be an Australian citizen.
No, that's. Not it.
That's
I don't know
that's
what
it.
criteria
Permanent
you're looking
resident.
at.
This is it. To qualify for the Olympics as an Australian athlete, you have to meet this criteria. Be an Australian citizen or permanent resident. You need to participate in official state championships, national championships, or international competitions. Meet the Olympic qualifying time and place in the top positions in the final. That's it.
No,
Yes,
so
I
that's
think that
so
might be
different.
Swimming.
That could be something. That could be something different. But so like it's basically
Google.
Google's lied to you there. Google's done you awful there.
What do you mean?
Yeah. No. It's a lot more complicated than that. So
Okay.
that it goes into
Little
world
specific
ranking.
races,
Yeah.
and then they'll say, discretionary stuff. So pretty much
it's their
they
choice.
go,
in
yeah.
the end.
They can choose whoever they want off.
Yeah. So in the
Most there's all these different clauses.
end,
It's
it
like-
doesn't matter. It's
Well,
just
well,
who they
for-
want.
for,
does.
for the Australian one, like the Australian boys. So like I think Luke Willian did it perfectly in the Australian men
Yeah.
because I don't think if he didn't, there's an automatic criteria as well. So if you get for his, it was if you get a top 8 in Yokohama, if you got top 8 there, you would
qualify.
automatic qualify, and they couldn't do anything about that.
Mm.
So I think if Luke didn't get that top 8, I think they would have taken Jake Birtwistle, just in my opinion,
Yeah.
because
I mean,
we weren't
but
racing
then
that
do they
well.
go off form? Like, so there's all these different things. Like, you could then go off form, like in the previous races, which then I would say Luke was racing better. But if he hadn't performed, well, then you might go, I'll take an experienced guy. There's all these different like ins and outs of, but I
Mm.
guess that's just sport. That's like picking a footy team to run out
Yeah.
next bloody Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, who's in form? Who do we think?
Yeah. Who's
All those little things.
who's
yeah.
mentally prepared?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and
All
who's
that
done this
stuff.
before? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure,
Okay.
for sure. Yeah. So, yeah, that's always going to be a controversy every time an
Controversy,
Olympic year comes around. Who wants it? Hopefully we're in that controversy next Olympics.
You want to be part of the Olympics.
Fuck yeah, I want to go fuck shit up.
How far away do you think you actually are from being in the Olympics?
Wow.
You reckon? No, give me 4 years. I'll be at the next one.
4 years.
4 years.
What's the
You'll
next
miss
one?
it.
Well, that's
That'll
the
be
next one.
2029.
Right. Could you do it sooner so this podcast just goes, woo?
Well, I
takes
mean,
off?
hopefully, but I kind of got to wait till I don't get to change the Olympic date. It's an every
Yeah.
4 year event. I know you don't know a lot about
no.
sport, but
World
it's set.
Health
It's set
Stand.
to every 4 years. All right, 2028, I'll be there. Don't worry about it.
Bold
Sick.
statement. There we are.
Mate,
That's cool.
I'll back myself. I'll
you
be there.
heard it here first.
Just wait until we do bold predictions next week. It's all about me. And the last one, we'll touch on this quickly because I think we could actually talk about this one more in a few episodes later because this has happened again. But the Australian women not being picked for
World champs.
a World Champs and a World Series event. So that was pretty big. Obviously, I don't think it's a lie to be able to say we're not performing on the women's side. We
have to
haven't.
give people a chance.
You have to give people a chance, and I'm all for the giving people a chance. But you have to admit we haven't got a Matt Hauser or a Luke Willian going out there fighting for podiums.
Yeah.
Who's our highest ranked chick? Probably Sophie Lynn. I think she's in the 40s.
Yeah.
This is me completely guessing. I don't actually know.
I don't
But
know.
all I know is that we don't have an Australian female fighting for podiums.
Yeah.
So it's tricky because
You got to give people a chance.
you've got to give people a chance, but it's almost how many chances do you give them before it's like, okay, maybe just jump back one level, perform there, and then when you perform there, then jump up.
Then again, could you give new blood chance?
I'm 100 all for the new blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% all for the new blood getting a chance.
It's like chuck someone in because you never know. It's
We have
racing.
we have Charlotte Derbyshire, Ellie Hoyting, Tyra Szynski. Like we've got some talent.
Yeah.
Aspen Anderson's going to be one fighting for those top spots in a few years. Like we've got some serious talent on the women's side. They're just not getting chances. So
None of those names are coming up on Google.
Oh.
No, Ashley Gentle, Emma Carney, Emma Moffat, Penny
They're
Slater, and
all-
Kylie Simpson.
all retired. Don't even know.
Oh,
who
they're
those are.
retired.
They're
them-
retired.
Oh,
Ashley
they're
Gentle's still racing the long course, but they're
Penny
all
Slater's still racing.
Right. As
Oh.
in, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
current.
they're long course.
they're all
guys,
long, okay.
yeah.
I didn't even know who those last two were. I'm talking about the current crop right now.
Gotcha.
Weird that even then Sophie Lynn's not coming up.
No,
Like Nat
yeah.
Van Coveren. Like
Yeah.
see for me, there's one thing that I think like Emma Jeffcoat. She's gonna get TV time. She's gonna get screen
always at the
time.
front,
She's always at
swimming
the front
hard.
of the swim and bike. Her run's not there. Like it's kind of obvious. She's shown that. Like I'm not saying it's never going to be there. She's sure she could go have a massive off season and come out firing
Yeah,
next
right,
year.
Yeah.
But she's going to be at the front pushing the pack
Every day. Yeah.
every day. She's an unbelievable swimmer, unbelievable cyclist. It's like in terms of exposure and getting Australian females interested in what they're watching.
I think you need to show that stuff.
You need to show that. Get an
It's
Aussie
exciting.
suit at the front of the TV
Yeah.
so we have something to cheer for. I'm cheering for Georgia Taylor Brown because she seems like a nice girl. Like that's all I'm going off. Like I don't actually care about anybody out there because they're not Aussies.
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
I think if you have something to inspire the next generation, maybe they'll go, oh, I just saw Emma Jeffcoat.
Oh, yeah, that's
like,
really cool.
That's
to
cool.
see,
I want to do that. So yeah, I think again, this has happened again in a race coming up in a few weeks, so we can talk about that more later. But yeah, I think that's going to be an ongoing problem.
Yeah, people want to do with sending people away to go race and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
mean, it's people's decisions, I guess, at the end of the day. And that's, I guess, what was very controversial about 2024 as a whole in, like, the Olympic selections and stuff like that. Just, like, people picking people. I guess that's what that...
Favoritism or
Mm.
something.
It is a bit. It is a little bit.
Mm.
All right, on to the next ones, and this is my personal favorite: the finish line beefs.
Yes.
I love
Bring
this
a bit
stuff.
of fire back.
Bring a bit of
Yeah.
into the
fire. I
sport.
want to see some like I remember that and hopefully we're gonna have it on our little intro thing. But Richard Murray just
blowing up.
losing his shit at the officials,
Angry South Africa.
giving him the finger,
When he
like
was
blowing
South
up.
African.
Yeah, he was blowing up. He had a bit of grit about it. You never see
Bit of
that.
mongrel.
You don't really
yeah.
see that anymore.
What was wrong with him?
Nothing. He was a great athlete.
No,
No,
but
no,
in
no.
the-
I
in
mean,
the
like, why
penalty,
was he so angry?
He got
Oh.
a penalty. Yeah.
In
I'm
South
sure he's a
Africa.
nice
They're
guy.
all
Yeah.
angry guys over there.
Yeah, he got a penalty. So he was fighting for the win and with a Spanish athlete, and he got a penalty. So it essentially lost him the race, and he wasn't
Happy?
wasn't too sure.
Yeah,
he
of
wasn't too
course.
sure. This is a long time ago.
Right.
This is quite a few years ago.
Okay.
But it was just cool.
Yeah.
It was just cool.
Love
But
it.
yeah, so the ones this year, the big one for me, I think the big one for me was because I was kind of part of it. I felt cool being a part of
Oh,
it.
here we
Tell us
go.
the story.
But,
Lockie, tell us the story.
So Callum McCluskey in Napier. Cal's known on the triathlon
To
circuit
be a bit
as
fiery.
he's a
I
bit
like it.
fiery. I like
That's
it too.
good.
I'm all for it. I mean,
I've copped a spray from
mate,
Cal. But
Cal
that's
and
probably fair
I,
enough.
yeah, Cal and I have had our,
Tiffs.
we've had our tiffs before. Like we've yelled at each other before. Like
But that's
it's-
all right. You go shake hands after.
You
the
go
race
shake
it's
hands
all
after and it's
Yeah.
fine. But yeah, so in Napier, it was the first World Cup of the year. Again, Olympic year. Everyone's kind of buzzing. Everyone's trying to get their points and hit
Yeah.
the criteria. And it was essentially the Hayden Wild show in Napier. It was in New Zealand. Hayden Wild's a New Zealand athlete. Probably ranked. He was probably ranked in the top 3 at the time.
1, 2, or 3. Yeah.
And
Best
the
of
media
the best.
was portraying it as a Hayden Wild training race. Essentially, this is just him practicing for.
The Olympics.
The
Well,
Olympics.
What's to show at the Olympics? What's coming?
And
You
so
know,
it-
foreshadow.
Yeah, he
big
kind
win.
of went out
I mean,
there.
it did foreshadow what happened at the Olympics.
It did actually. It did.
Yeah.
But like yeah, all the media was on him. All the talk was on Hayden, and we were talking about it. It was Callum McCluskey, Brendan Copeland, Luke Willian, and myself. We were at a coffee shop day before the race, and I can't remember who said it. It probably was Cal, and he kind of said, "All right, boys, like if one of us beat." I wasn't really part of this part of the conversation because it was my first World Cup. There was no way I was winning, but I was like, yeah, good idea. But essentially,
G'd up for
so
the boys.
Hayden has this celebration that he's done. He's called the Falcon. So when he crosses the line, he flaps his wings and he's like does like his big Falcon
Yeah.
sort of
Is this
impression.
self-proclaimed? Like he's
No,
called
no.
it the Falcon?
Nah,
or
some-
like someone
nah,
else?
the
somebody
commentators
else, yeah,
gave
one
it
of the
to him.
commentators
Yeah.
called
Right.
him
The Falcon.
Yeah, the Falcon.
I
So
mean, he's a bit of a foot falcon, isn't he?
What?
Do you know what a foot falcon is?
Oh, that was shit from you.
No,
I'm
I
just-
actually need the explanation of
Oh,
what a
here we
foot
go.
falcon is
It's
first.
like fast runner. You know what a whole falcon is? Like Ford
Did you know
Falcon?
that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Foot falcon.
Okay, I get it.
That's
yeah.
a Paul McCory thing there.
Yeah.
Um,
You city slickers don't
Yeah.
know.
So yeah, so that's sort of his celebration. He flaps his wings, and Cal sort of said, I'm assuming it was Cal, if one of us win, we're gonna do his celebration and we'll shush the camera. And I thought,
Oh, not a shush.
perfect, like a big. I mean,
Perfect. You're not going to do it.
yeah. I was like, sweet. I'd love to see one of you boys do it. I'm not doing it. Like, I don't have to. I'm not going to be winning this race. So.
Yeah, that would really hurt his feelings, I'm sure. Just
It would have. I mean, it did.
Shush.
It actually
did.
did. He
Oh.
was not happy about it. I think because again, triathlon can be a little bit boring. Like it's a bit prim and proper. You kind of go, you take the tape, you put it up in the air, and you put it to the side, and you clap your other mates in. It's a little bit like that.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I mean, look at what we're
Good.
wearing.
Well, I guess
Like,
there's
we're wearing skin tight suits here.
It's a bit
It's
gay,
we
isn't
can't
it?
really do that much with it.
there's
yeah.
no like contact to it. I
Nah.
guess there's not really.
There's not that aggression
Yeah,
that like
yeah.
a rugby would have or
Yeah,
something.
an
So
AFL or
Yeah.
That's
even
what-
like
But it-
basketball and
Yeah.
stuff like that. There's
bumping
more-
into each
yeah.
other.
Well, it has the length as well, right? So especially if you're doing Ironman, it's like 8 hours when
Yeah,
you're watching just
yeah.
someone doing
It's
the
like-
same thing
yeah.
for a long
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Yeah. So that's why I think that's why I like it. I like a bit of beef at the finish line. Like if you don't like each other, just fucking say you don't like each other. There's so many people that don't like each other in this sport, but they act like they're best mates. I'm not going to say the two names I'm thinking of, but like just show that you don't like each other. Like I'm all for a finish line beef. And essentially, anyway, going on with the story, Cal won.
Cal won.
So Cal was coming down, and Cal was running down the finish chute, and it didn't click because obviously I was still racing. I think I had like 5 minutes of the race to go.
Yeah.
So-
Did you see them when you were coming,
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
coming into the line, you're still running.
Yeah, I think I was like, yeah, Cal, I'll see you in a bit. I just got to go this way a bit longer. But yeah, so Cal did it. He flapped his wings. He shushed the camera. And it was obviously a bit of a shush on Hayden Wild, and Hayden had an incredible run. He ran into second, and he saw Cal do that. And I wasn't there because I was still racing, but I think there was a few words exchanged, kind of like, I'm gonna make sure you regret that sort of thing. And from words of coaches weren't too happy with Cal for doing that. They thought it was a bit disrespectful. They
Oh my
thought.
God, get over it.
That's what I thought. I was having a beer with Tom Falco, who's the Triathlon Australia media guy. He runs all the content for Oz Triathlon, and that reel of
Wasn't
Cal,
it the most viewed?
it was the most viewed reel they've like ever had. It got shared
Really?
around to everyone because people were like,
Everyone
this guy's
loved
just
it.
shushed the Falcon. Like he's just
Yeah.
sort of shut up the Falcon. Like
I mean, I get it if it was like the middle finger to the
See, that's
Falcon
what-
kind of
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like
That'd be
if,
cool.
And
if
you
it's just
go-
shush, you're like, oh, I'm silencing you because I've just won, and
Yeah.
you normally win. So
Yeah.
I think it's a bigger
Not
deal.
anymore.
I mean maybe like it doesn't seem as big of a deal unless you're like in the sport because he is a big name. People know him, so it is very much like you've just shushed a big
Big guy,
dog.
yeah.
You've just shushed a big dog. Like
Mm,
it probably
I-
doesn't from
yeah.
like the outside looking in. It probably doesn't seem that extreme, but I thought it was pretty cool. And
I
he-
mean,
he
maybe
copped
it
a bit
was
of flack.
No, it is cool. It's definitely cool.
magnified because nothing actually happens like that.
yeah, you
know,
never
it's
see that in
kind
the
of
sport.
like frowned upon.
Yeah.
Well,
And I hope he
I
does it
think-
again.
yeah.
I hope he does it again. I
but
hope that
builds storylines.
that's a
doesn't it?
storyline right there. We're here
And
talking
that's
about
what you
it.
need.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
For
Why,
sure.
why are we a couple of idiots
It's
on
like-
a podcast now talking about what happened a year ago? It's
Mm.
because it was good. It brought eyes. And that's, I guess, the main thing that you want to see in a sport. You want to
Yeah.
see eyes.
It's like so this second one. It's almost like this the Hayden and Alex Yee. That's a rivalry. Like that's
Yeah.
and again, I think it's more bitter than
What's
people
actually
realize.
happening.
Like I
Yeah.
think in the media they're definitely portrayed as like best friends. They're not best friends.
What?
They're not
why,
best friends.
What started the rivalry?
It's just
It's
always
just
them
racing.
two. It's just
They're-
always them
they're
two winning.
Just the best in the world.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They're
yeah.
essentially always 1 and 2.
Mhm.
And
It's like Max Verstappen and what's his name?
yeah,
Do
Jesus.
you
Lewis
guys know
Hamilton.
anything about this?
Yeah.
Not
Don't
really.
know.
Not really F1 guy.
Well, I mean, I like it. I know
Uh,
Lewis Hamilton's not what's his name.
No,
but,
it's not even
Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton. I don't even know.
Oh,
rattle off
Max
one.
Verstappen's teammate.
no,
Who
it
was
wasn't his.
that?
No, it wasn't his
No
teammate.
clue.
No, because they're all
George Russell.
Yeah, something like that.
No, he was a Mercedes.
I was trying to act like I knew something. But
Yeah, that's all right. Nice try.
we'll just move
Yeah.
on.
It's always like them. It's always them two, 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So, and usually, I actually think Alex.
He gets the better of him.
Alex
most
usually
of
gets the better of
times.
him.
Yeah.
So there was one race. This is the next one in Boston, where I was a little bit disappointed with how this finished. But essentially they had another sprint finish, and this is just after the Olympics. So just after Alex Yee just out sprinted him.
It's pretty much like stole the show at the Olympics. Obviously he won, but it was Hayden's to lose. Like Hayden was very much.
He was so far
He
in
looked
front.
like he was going to win. I thought he was going to win, and you're like, wow, that's a bit of an upset because Alex was the favourite. Anyway, Alex eventually wins, but then the next race in Boston 3 weeks later, he then wins again. And anyway, he walks over the line, arms crossed, he just kind of like looks up.
You don't know Mbappe, do you?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so he's a soccer player. So again, God, you don't.
I know
Not doing
nothing.
yourself any
This is-
favours. So and he basically stole a celebration from like somebody else, but it was like one of the again. You're not gonna think it's cool, but like
Yeah,
just
Don't-
like
just
maybe
like
I will.
like a staunch.
it was a bit of a staunch, like cross his arm,
Like-
nodding at the
Yeah.
camera, like
You're like, I'm
I'm the
pretty
guy.
sick.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
the
yeah,
man.
yeah.
yeah.
I feel
It was something a bit like that, and Hayden didn't like it.
no.
Both of these
He-
are actually about Hayden, so that's kind of awkward.
Oh, so
Yeah.
so Hayden didn't like it because it was too easy to win.
Yeah,
type of
yeah.
thing.
Essentially,
Right.
like
He thought it was
just like,
disrespectful.
yeah.
Oh,
I'm the best.
not again.
Yeah, again, he got
Everything's
disrespected again.
disrespectful.
God
That's
damn,
twice.
he hurt his feelings.
He sounds a little bit sensitive.
Yeah, he hurts his feelings.
Oh.
But yeah, and again, I think with that, we're never gonna see because Alex Yee just got slaughtered
in the media.
In the media.
Yeah, and that was a big thing. Like, oh, there should be more respect in the sport. Like, but why can't you show a bit of emotion that you're happy to win? Like, they're big wins, a lot of money on the line.
Show a
all
bit of
this-
fuck you. Like
Yeah.
show a bit of like I just beat you.
Yeah.
Like I
Oh,
love that.
I'm the best in the world.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Olympic champion wins like in a shorter format 3 weeks later after doing all this media and probably having a great time.
Oh, he partied.
Are
Are you kidding? If I won the Olympics, you wouldn't see me for 3 weeks.
Yeah, we know you.
I'll be
wouldn't
lost in
seen.
Paris.
We know that.
Fuck, I'll be in the underground.
Yeah, you'd be in the catacombs.
Fucking, I'll be down there partying with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're never gonna see Alex do that again.
No.
I don't think. Like the media was, and like it upsets him. Like that was a bit of emotion that we've never seen from Alex before.
Yeah, what
He
did
showed
he do
it.
in the Olympics? Like he.
I mean, to be fair, that one
How-
I think he grabbed it and just cried.
I mean, fair enough.
I'd probably do that too.
Yeah.
If there's one race where I'm probably not being that dramatic, I'm probably going to cry if
Yeah.
when I win the Olympics.
Okay.
Here we
Get
go.
off it.
I'll be happy just to be there. But yeah, I think anybody would be the same. You're so overwhelmed
Yeah.
with emotion. So for him to sort of show a bit of emotion, I was kind of like, yeah, that's cool. But now we're never going to see that.
No,
Ever again.
Yeah, just hide away.
Yeah,
like,
he'll do his normal boring celebrations that he does
tape,
now, and
tape, win.
yeah.
Go, yeah, cool. Next one.
which
I mean,
sucks
Yeah.
because again, like we've said, we like a bit of
What would your? Oh, you've actually got to win.
thanks.
I was gonna say if you.
What was that?
If
Say
you,
that again, one more time.
if you get another one, what
Nah.
would your celebration be? 'Cause
I've
your
got to do
first
something.
one was
My first one was
boring, wasn't it?
horrible. It wasn't
Tell us the
boring. It
story.
was
Go
just
on.
embarrassing, and there wasn't even anyone there. I was doing it to a couple like just Chinese people that didn't know what I was doing.
They're not
They had no
Chinese.
idea. Yeah, so
It was Hong Kong.
it was Hong Kong. So my first ever win was a couple months ago. My last race of the season, and I went into the race ranked number 2. So I 2 or 3, whatever. I went into the race ranked 2 or 3, and embarrassingly, I thought about this before the
Not
race.
before.
You had a plan.
I had a
Jesus.
plan, and I thought it was a good idea. So I thought this celebration was a good idea, and oh my god, I look back at it and think that was so embarrassing. But anyway, I was running down the finish chute, and I saw the finish arc, and I saw them put up the tape. And I was kind of overwhelmed. I was like, wow, it's my first win. Like, this is super exciting. And I run up, I point my shoulder, which had the number 2, obviously my number, pointed my shoulder towards the cameras. I crossed it out, like looking the media dead in the eye, crossed it out and went, nah, number 1. and then took the tape, and I was like, oh no.
It's not that bad.
Okay, I mean,
Nah, I saw a video of it. It was
Oh, they
fucking
have a video?
awful.
Where
Can
can
we
we
find
get
it?
that
There's a
video?
reason why
Find
I
it.
have not showed this video.
well, it's going up.
We need
We're
the
putting it up.
access to this video.
I'm not
At
giving,
least
I'm not
You
giving
are,
it to you.
you are.
At least you
You
didn't
are.
celebrate early.
And I actually think I did. I
No,
celebrated
no,
like K
no.
down the road. we were
No,
running,
no.
we were running along the road, and the moped was there, and I'm there like,
Imagine losing it. Imagine losing
oh,
it.
okay, yeah.
and-
No, I made sure I was safe. But yeah, I was celebrating like K down the road. I was well early. But yeah, I don't know what I'd do now. I've kind of butchered my first shot.
Yeah.
Probably
No.
just
Maybe
like
never
the-
again.
I might never get that again. I've got to live with that. To my grandkids, that thing. Oh.
I crossed out the number 2 on my arm.
Yeah. Hey, Grandpa, how good was your cell? Let's not talk about it.
Don't ask.
Don't ask
Yeah,
me.
you need to win Olympics now. So
Yeah.
Do something else. What would you do now? Nothing. Just stand there.
Just
Yeah.
yeah.
That's good.
I don't know. Not Matt McElroy. Or maybe it was Matt McElroy, or it was one of the American boys where they came. Oh, it's weird doing it like just here, but where they got like the I don't know where they've got it from, but they basically just did like the can we just get a video of it? Because I feel
No.
weird doing it.
What
did
is
they do?
it?
Well, I think he just like scrunched his face up, and he does. I'm assuming it's Matt McElroy, and he just does like he's like smacking his head almost like
like
yeah.
Who did it? Come on, is that?
Yeah,
That's
it's like,
Come On,
yeah,
Hewitt.
yeah. Leighton
Yeah.
Hewitt, like that.
Leighton.
Come
I reckon
on.
that's what I'll
on.
do if I ever
Yeah.
got some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. Like the namesake. You
I
know?
love how we've
For
managed to stretch this conversation
I
for so
know,
long.
I
But like, you
know.
guys are really
I
like, I
know.
love the passion
Yeah.
that's coming out of
Enthusiastic
you
about
right
it.
now.
This is
Like,
so much. Yeah, that's definitely
When
like
I
2 hours in
win.
now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's speed through the next bit then.
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
hear your highlights for last year.
Yep.
We'll start with your favorite performance.
Okay.
One each, okay?
Okay, I think we've got different ones, which is gonna be cool.
Performance.
Yeah, what's your best performance of 2024?
Okay, I'm going to go, and you don't follow this.
You've changed it.
What do you reckon I was going to say first?
Yellow Gains.
No, I've changed it.
I've changed mine.
Maybe you guys have the same one now that you.
Oh,
No,
that'd be awkward.
I was going to say Patrick Langer winning Ironman World Champs.
Yeah, you're right. I don't really care that much about
Yeah,
that. So
you,
you're the
you
guy
couldn't
there.
care. Anyway, he won by 8 minutes.
Whoa.
And that's a big margin. I mean, it is over 7 hours and whatever minutes.
Yeah.
But winning by 8 minutes.
This
and
is
running away
Ironman
from
World
everyone,
Champs.
No,
Like
yeah,
that, yeah.
It was
that's
his
huge.
third one that he won, and I thought that was very impressive.
I think with the field especially, I knew enough to see the field and go. It's probably
It's
one of the deepest
deepest,
fields
yeah.
we've had in a while, because we've got that sort of younger generation coming up into the long course stuff. You
Yeah.
got that sort of movement
Post,
now.
yeah. Post Olympics,
Yeah.
people going into long course.
The Norwegians were kind of looked
Yeah.
at as just, they're going to take
gonna win
control.
it,
A lot
yeah,
of the
Sam
T100
Laidlow,
guys.
yeah.
It was cool for. He wasn't the one that I
And
picked.
he's an older guy. Like,
Mm.
he's very much a pure Ironman athlete where he isn't like this short course moving up. He's always kind of raced this Ironman distance and stick to your guns and that's what you're good at. I mean, you can run a marathon really quick and
he's got an absolute German chorizo just in that fucking in that tri suit. Look up, Patrick Lang, 2024 Ironman finish.
Patrick Lang.
He's got it all out.
You've got
He's got it on display.
yeah.
He's got it on display. That was another thing that was sort of just go images.
Okay, here we go. Is that it?
Can you see it?
Oh my god!
Are you looking at it?
It looks like he's packing like
He's packing
a giant
Nah, he's packing.
grapefruit.
I know.
For real. Oh, you know.
I've seen it.
How do you know?
It was all over my social media for God knows how many weeks. Like it was just everyone just going like, look at this guy with his third leg hanging out.
So you don't know personally?
No,
I haven't
met him.
Yeah, thank God. Shut up there.
You might like to.
Okay. No, it's not at all. All right.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Patrick Lang. All right. Originally, mine was Alex Yee winning Paris.
I feel as if that's a bit of a cop out.
That's a bit of a cop out one. That's an honourable mention kind of one there.
As well as Yella, if you.
As well as Yella, Yella. This isn't particular. This isn't really one person. This is still in the Olympics, but the mixed team relay sprint finish between those girls. I think like history kind of shows that, especially over the last 4 years when the girls were going last, the race was kind of set by the time you already knew. But by the time the girls went, it kind of split up a lot more than when the men were finishing last. Like, so they swap it every 4 years between who like the order, if it's boy, girl, or girl, boy. So this year the females were finishing, and in most other races they would kind of run away from each other. It was kind of it was a little bit boring by the time the last leg came around. But this year in Paris, you had Taylor Knibb, Beth Potter, and German. Oh no,
I don't know.
Oh, she's a goat as well in the Germans. So you had Team Germany. She actually won too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so bad that we forgot her name.
What was it?
It'll come to me.
German
mixed team relay. Anyway, so like to see that's almost a 90-minute race that comes down to. A 90-minute race come down to
all these different factors
that could go right or wrong.
Yeah.
And for the women to come down to a sprint finish, I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
Like and not just a sprint finish, a photo finish. Like it was that tight.
Overturned.
It got overturned. So there was another thing where they'd handed British Triathlon the silver. So they said Germany won. She was clearly ahead, but then America and Great Britain were so close. They originally thought it was British Triathlon, and then went to they obviously argued it.
Then the Americans disputed it.
Have you got it?
That the British won, and then from that, the Americans won it, which was quite impressive.
Oh, you're not even on the right sport.
I don't know. I told you it was a 400 meters relay. I'm trying my best here. I've searched the wrong thing. I'm on.
You're on athletics. That's the 4x100 athletics.
Okay, there's a difference. Okay, where are we?
There is a difference.
German mixed team relay women is what I've googled.
Yeah.
Is that not right?
No, that's not right.
Okay, well, what am I googling? Triathlon. German. Okay, mixed team relay. We'll cut this out. This is a definite part we'll actually cut out, and then
don't say women.
Just that.
Mixed team relay.
Just that. This one.
I'm hoping
this one here. Here we go. There we go. Georgia Taylor Brown. No.
Laura Lindemann. Laura Lindemann. How that's so bad of us to be. She's a great athlete too. So she won it. She won it for the Germans. She won it in the sprint finish. And yeah, I just thought that was so exciting. I mean, it sucked that the Aussies weren't anywhere near it, but we'll get them next time. But yeah, that was sort of one of my highlights. Again, there was so many that we could pick from. You know, Maddie Hauser and Luke Willian in Yokohama coming second and third. Yeah. That was so exciting. All the boys were at my house. Oh no. Nah, Morgan Pearson won. Oh, yeah. But that was huge. Luke Willian qualifying for the Olympics in that race. Yeah. Hauser and Luke, good friends. Alex Yee winning. Yella Gaines winning. Yeah. World champ. So it was an unreal year. Cassandra Beaugrand, she was dominant this year.
Both of them were
Yeah.
Olympic and world champs.
Yeah, that was cool. That was very cool. So there was so many things we could talk about, but I think in terms of, having
Special performances.
special performances that were
Like,
kind
very
of
impressive.
cool to see that
Yeah.
things you might not see very often.
Mhm. Cool. All right, that's settled.
Yeah.
How about your favorite athlete from last year? Who nailed it?
Mine is Luke Willian. I just
Okay.
think I just think going off 2023, he got unfunded. Essentially, he got dropped from Australian funding. He was kind of left to his own. He probably wasn't performing as to his capability. And within one off season to come out
Changed around.
and to
so
change around and
quickly, yeah.
perform the way he was performing, he took the opportunity out of Triathlon Australia's hands and just said, no, that spot's mine. Like I'm going to the Olympics and you can't take that away from me. And to do it in such fashion as well.
Yeah, look,
He was
just
running
really
with Morgan Pearson.
determined.
Yeah,
I guess the whole
super determined.
year.
it was really cool to see him. And like, we know him, he's a legend. Like Williams, he's a legend. He's such a good bloke, so humble, such a nice guy. So to see somebody get awarded for such hard work, I thought that was pretty special to see. It wasn't his day on the Olympics. Yeah, he was ranked number 1 in the world at one point.
Yeah, he was ranked 1 in the world for
Quite a few-
good majority of the
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, so I think that was pretty cool.
Was he ranked number 1s going into the Olympics in the world?
No, because Hamburg happened,
Oh,
and
okay,
I think he was
yeah.
back in top 5 somewhere. But
He still finished 7th.
I think
world?
he was 7th in the world.
Yeah.
So to go from where he was to race in Olympics, not have his day, but get some World
Shows,
Series
I guess,
medals.
yeah, the determination over just a couple of years where he didn't get picked for an Olympics the 3 years prior, and then going from that, I guess a major lull, and I don't know, you could get in your head a bit, can't you? Go, nah, this isn't for me.
I thought it
And
was
then
over for him. I didn't think he
then
was going to make the team.
3 years later, still just
Yeah,
out there doing it himself
with the knuckle dusters, just getting it done, just
getting it done.
grinding.
Yeah.
Nah, it was cool. It was really cool. So
Impressive.
Luke Willian, my athlete of the year.
Yeah.
All right, over
Well,
to you, Leighton.
I haven't gone domestic with an Australian. I've gone overseas. I've gone Taylor Knibb.
Yeah.
I think she is the most impressive athlete of the year. Why? I hear you ask.
Yes.
Who's Taylor Knibb?
I am asking.
You don't know.
You've got a bit of a crush on her.
Not really. She's a
Yeah.
bit weird.
She pooed her pants. She's
She's way too fruity.
she
for
pooed her pants mid race. She's the one that pooed her pants mid race.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
that happens a lot though, no?
I've never done it. Have you?
No,
I've peed my pants mid race.
I've never done that either.
Not in this suit. Don't worry about it. I made sure it was a different suit. I didn't bring in the pea suit.
Difference.
I actually get. I'm not going to say where that is. Go.
Anyway,
was she the one that were there's a video going around where they're filming her and
She
she's
says,
like,
"Don't video my
don't
back."
video my back. 'cause
yeah,
I've just
that's the
shit
one.
myself."
Even
Yeah.
you've seen it. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that.
That was another one. It was the Taylor Knibb pooping her pants and Patrick Langer's third leg. They were the two big highlights of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And they're both your favourites.
That's a
So-
highlight for me.
Maybe
Yeah.
I just watch Instagram reels
Yeah,
too much
yeah.
and see those. Oh yeah, what have they
Oh, they're
actually
my
done
favourite.
in that race?
Yeah.
I like how she just admitted to it. She was just like, yeah. Just
No, but you know what?
go
She got
just-
200k for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm shitting myself for 200k.
Yeah.
100%. Are you?
Yeah.
I'm shitting that was I'm shitting myself for 200k.
200,000 bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
200,000.
Doing it for 50.
Don't think poo was in the criteria though. You don't have to shit
Took a while
yourself to get
for you.
You don't have to shit yourself to get 200K.
Oh, no, obviously. I'm just saying
But
I
it
would.
helps.
But, yeah,
It helps.
Yeah. Anyway, she was 70.3 world champion. She won the other day in New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
She was an Olympic silver medalist.
Mm-hmm.
This is all in the same year. So world champ, Olympic medalist. She went to the Olympics for 2 sports, triathlon
Yeah.
and cycling. She didn't go too good in the cycling. She crashed. But two events,
Yeah.
which is pretty impressive.
huge.
I wouldn't think you would see any other sport with someone in 2
Yeah.
sports.
She's the most robust athlete.
And
By
then
far.
wins T100 world championships.
Yep.
And
She's always up
That's
there in a World Series.
Yeah,
Like she's
she
always
can
she's
do it
always
all.
dangerous.
Yeah.
She's always dangerous. She's
so
by far the most robust.
Yeah.
Like you'd almost argue maybe Hayden Wild.
yeah,
like,
he
is-
would be
is-
the next.
He'd be the next thing in terms of he can
Person.
race. Yeah, he
Anything.
can race
Yeah.
quite literally any event
And be
distance
good
in
at it.
triathlon and be
Yeah.
good at it. But yeah, Taylor Knibb to be able to do multiple sports at an
Yeah.
Olympics, that's so cool. Be competitive on the world stage at
Just
a few
phenomenal
distances.
athlete,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, really cool.
Freak.
Mad. Okay.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
All right. Retirements then. Who's leaving the sport who left last year?
We've got quite a few. There was a lot actually. I think for me the big one, and he is my greatest of all time.
Controversial.
Okay, well, whatever. Ali Brownlee. I think Ali Brownlee leaving the sport was. I don't think he did quite what he could have done in long course. I think that kind of hurt his image a little bit. But what Ali Brownlee did for the sport.
Yep. And he was one of those guys that had that bit of mongrel about him.
He had some fear factor behind him. Like people
really
were nervous.
Yeah, aggressive. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he was aggressive. But
No, he was.
in like the
100%.
saying that.
Yeah.
But like he brought that bit of spice to
Yeah.
a race. Like you didn't know what was going to happen with him. Like he would blow up at like people
Yeah.
on the bike and
People were scared of him.
Yeah.
I remember there was Vincent Louis said it on a podcast or a video where him and Ali were going into a corner and they were like headbutting each other. Like their helmets were like banging onto each other and they were just like they would do anything they could to just get that extra inch. Like it was he changed the way that the sport was raced.
Yeah.
Essentially, it was how do you beat someone that was he was the best swimmer,
So
best
dominant,
cyclist,
yeah,
best runner.
best
He
runner,
did you
yeah.
like you
Could do it
didn't have a
all,
weakness. He didn't have a weakness. So
and then made it his own race as well by being
Yeah.
like the top dog essentially, just being that alpha kind of guy in the pack. Like
he would walk into like a briefing, like an athlete briefing, and people would be like, "Yeah, he's here." Like it was like one of those
People
like
would
it was
know.
like oh, he's here.
like turn around.
Yeah.
kinda, yeah.
And he would just walk in, not give a fuck, just don't care who you are. But everybody
Remember
else
the
knew.
time you rocked up in a suit?
Is that bad?
Yeah, I didn't know there was.
You
I didn't.
usually
I
just-
didn't realize there was a dress code. I came straight from a
He
wedding.
thinks he's Conor McGregor, right?
Wearing Gucci mink. There was an athlete briefing last year for one of the races, and I just come straight from my mate's wedding. I was a good mate. Just came straight from my mate's wedding, and I didn't bother getting changed. I just walked in a suit, and everyone was looking at
Everyone
me
else is like
this.
dressed like
Just
this,
dressed like
just
this.
like we
Right.
have to go there,
You know-
sit there, listen to this guy speak about the race,
Yeah.
and we're just like,
I screwed up here. I thought he was wearing this suit.
No.
His little racing
Yeah.
suit
Yeah, I walked
is
in
what
in this
I
thing.
thought. Like he came in that. And
That
like,
wouldn't
this
be
is my
strange.
life. Like,
that would be okay if you walked.
That
in.
probably
Yeah,
would have been
okay.
better than
People
actually
would be
wearing
like,
a
Right.
suit.
yeah, he's keen. Okay, but
Hey,
yeah.
mate, I'm doing it different. I'm running it different out here.
oh, Jesus.
I'm gonna do it another one. I'm gonna keep rocking up in suits. Anyway, so who's the big one? Oh, I guess we're probably not done with the people that are leaving.
I feel like we
Oh,
are.
Brownlee.
Yeah.
No, but I
That's done.
mean, I don't know if we are. I mean, maybe we're
Nah,
not. But
we
to
don't
be
really
honest-
need to. For me, I think like the big one is him. There are a lot of athletes leaving. A lot of them are going long. So a lot of athletes are making that transition long. But for me,
that's still in the sport.
for
I
me,
would
they're
say.
still in the sport. But yeah. So in terms of like the GOAT,
I think because we're already super long right now.
yeah, okay,
I think we save GOAT for another time.
Yep.
Let's just move into the young athletes
Okay.
part.
yeah. So I think this one's almost a little bit scary. I think because they're athletes our
Our
age.
age.
So we're having quite a few young athletes, and you've seen it. You've had two athletes now. One, Nicola Strada, who is an Italian athlete, and he was very good. I think he retired in 2023, and he put up a big post again. He was having heart problems. The doctors essentially wouldn't let him race anymore, and he had to medically retire.
You know what? I actually think I feel like this could be a discussion on a different episode.
Okay.
'Cause I feel like it could go quite long.
could,
like I
yeah.
feel like there's a lot to talk about
Yeah,
there.
yeah, for sure.
So if you're okay with leaving the GOAT and the young
That's fine.
athletes, is that cool?
That's fine. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well,
Um,
just wrap up.
All right. So, first episode done.
Yep, that's what we're about.
First episode done. We're really good at rambling, so we're gonna try maybe be more concise on the next few.
time. Yeah,
We just love the sport. We just love sport in general.
Love it so much.
So does Sarah. By the time we're done with this, Sarah's gonna be coming.
wearing one.
Well,
She'll bring in her suit.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like that's the goal, is to get me
If we can
interested
Get
in
you
the
onto a
sport.
How's-
a try or something.
Noosa
like that.
Triathlon.
Sorry, what?
Oh.
Noosa Triathlon in November.
No.
Our goal is to get you
You're
ready
racing.
for Noosa Triathlon.
Oh no.
No,
Yeah.
you
no,
can
no.
do it
No.
for sure.
No.
It's in
Yeah.
November. You got plenty of time.
How long is it?
It's an
That
Olympic.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It
Is
doesn't
it
matter.
longer than 3 kilometers?
The swim is no. The swim's
No.
not.
Swim is not.
The swim's not.
Wow. Okay, I'll think about it.
That's what we need.
That's a win.
We'll keep chipping away. We'll keep chipping away.
Research,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
So again, this podcast is very much for the athletes. We want to be able to shout out people that might not be, in the spotlight right now, the up and comers, people that are doing cool things that might go unrecognized. We're going to recognize it.
We're going to see who's, doing little things, people that won't, things that people won't usually see that we kind of see, or things that, might come to our attention. Like people might,
We're not going to be sweeping
let us
anything
know,
under the rug.
yeah.
We're not going to be sweeping anything under the rug either. We want to bring out the nasties, and we want to talk about them, and we want to expose you if you're doing anything wrong. So if you're doing something wrong, watch out, because Sarah will find it on the internet.
That's it, I'll
Yeah.
Google.
And it'll probably be wrong, but
Googling was going so well today.
she's obviously done awesome. But yeah, first episode. Thank you very much to our parents for listening,
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah,
really
that's
it.
great.
Thanks, Mum and Dad.
Yeah.
And will we make it to episode 2?
Yeah, God, we might get cancelled.
Probably
The Russians are probably going to be after us after
And
that
the
conversation. And the Chinese.
Jesus, we're never racing there.
Yeah, awesome. Alrighty, have we got an outro song?
I'm sure we will.
We'll play it. If we do, play it.
Don't worry, I got it. I'll figure something out.
Cool.